Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. In my life, I have been rejected quite a lot. I have had a lot of people say no to me when it comes to dating, when it comes to sex, relationships. I have had a lot of people say no to me when it comes to money and business. I've asked a lot of people if they want to sign up for my coaching program, and they've said no. I've tried to make friends with a lot of people who've said no thank you, or they text me for a little bit, but then they fall off and they ghost or they flake or they just don't keep texting. I've been rejected quite a lot in my life. And yet here I sit before you, a man who has been in a relationship with my beautiful girlfriend for 6 years now, a man who has had plenty of threesomes and sex and BDSM and all of that beautiful stuff and all of those fun adventures. I make enough money to support not only myself through this coaching, but also Imogen. I pay Cam a little bit of money as well. I'm someone that in life is pretty fucking happy and positive and stoic. I'm going to say 99% of the time. I'm now going down this beautiful spiritual path where I'm exploring all of that sort of stuff and figuring out, at least for me, what it means to be human, what it means to be a form of consciousness on this beautiful blue planet that happens to be the third rock from the sun. I'm pretty happy with my life. I'm incredibly grateful. I wake up every day with a sense of abundance and love and joy and all of that. And yet, I've probably been rejected 10,000 times more than you. I have probably failed more times than you've even tried. How can that be? When rejection hurts so much for so many people, when it is, for a lot of people, the thing that they are so focused on avoiding that they don't even think about winning, they don't even try sometimes. Maybe you're one of those people. Maybe you've been avoiding going out and talking to women. Maybe you've been avoiding asking your boss for a raise. Maybe you haven't started a business or your side hustle that you've been dreaming of for all these years. Maybe you're scared to step foot in the gym. Maybe you've been avoiding losing weight. Whatever it might be that you've been avoiding, how can I possibly be sitting here happy when I've been rejected all of these times? How can I be okay with rejection? Maybe we will start with, why does rejection hurt? We could get super nerdy here and sit down and make this almost like an evo psych or evolutionary psychology, lesson here. But the very short version of why we're so scared of rejection and why we have such a trigger to it or such a knee-jerk reaction to avoiding rejection at all costs sometimes is because if you think about it in terms of our evolution, we grew up in small little tribes. We were cave people. We lived in little caves. We were hunters and gatherers. And if you did something that made you get really rejected on a very deep level, like maybe you went and tried to fuck the chief's wife or something, maybe you lied so much that people literally couldn't trust you, at some point, if you kept pushing that, people would kick you out of the tribe. And then you're off in the jungle or in the fucking savannah or wherever. You're out there by yourself trying to hunt and gather by yourself, probably with less shelter, with less safety because there's safety in numbers. You have less collective information. If you're a tribe and you're all together, you can come together to solve problems. But if you get kicked out, you're by yourself. You have to figure out what to do if it's raining and there's thunderstorms and you don't have enough cover. You have to fight that lion by yourself. And you're probably, I can't say probably, but you're less likely to survive by yourself. Human beings, if you look at our evolution, we very much got to this point by being a collective species, by coming together, forming little tribes or societies, little countries, whatever you want to call it. And through collective wisdom, through collective, almost common good, we were able to build everything that we have here today. Everything that if you look around in your apartment or your room or wherever you might be listening to this from, everything that you have around you is here because human beings came together. Individual people didn't invent everything. I know there's some individual inventors and all of that, but human beings are very much a social species. And so we have this very fucking strong aversion to getting kicked out of a tribe or getting rejected. And so when you walk up to that woman on the street or you think about walking up to that cute girl in the cafe and you want to say, hi, you're cute, but you feel this like strong fucking terror or this weird aversion, this feeling of like, this is wrong. I can't do this. I shouldn't do this. This is bad. I can't do this. It's weird. It's creepy. It's strange. I can't be different. That feeling has an evolutionary purpose, but we don't live in those times anymore. If you walk up to someone and as long as you're polite, if they reject you or if they're not interested in you, all that happens is they say no thank you. And they're pretty polite about it 99% of the time. And you just walk off. Nothing happens. You then walk up to the next person, especially if you live in a city where there's a lot of people and relative anonymity. You can walk up to 100 women in a day. And again, as long as you're polite, you can hit on 100 women in a day and nothing bad will happen. There might be some exceptions in the world to this if you're in an extremely conservative country, but you probably wouldn't be listening to my content if you were. And so for 99.9% of you listening, you can walk up to 100 women and approach them and hit on them, and nothing bad happens if they all say no. You can walk up to 100 strangers on the street and cold approach them for your business, like to be a potential client of yours. You can hand out flyers. You could just ask people if they want to give you money. You could do whatever it is. You could cold email people, DM people on Instagram. You know, I have one coaching client who that's how he brings in his clients. He just messages a bunch of people on Instagram and some people come to him for coaching. You can do that hundreds of times a day and there are pretty much no consequences. Nothing bad happens. We don't live in the days of the caveman where we're terrified of rejection because we might fucking die, but our brains and our emotions and our biology still thinks that we live in those times. That is why rejection hurts so bad. That is why you're freaked out about it and why so many of you avoid it at all costs to the point where you don't go out and actually try because you're scared of rejection. That's why it hurts. You're essentially worried about being all alone. You're worried about being weird. You're worried about being odd. I went to Beauty and the Beast, you know, a live like theater performance with Imogen yesterday, and it was absolutely fucking amazing. Oh my God, I did not think I would enjoy it that much. It was incredible. And I'm familiar with the story of Beauty and the Beast, but for those of you who aren't, essentially there's this girl who's cute and pretty and all of that, but she lives in this village in provincial France, you know, hundreds of years ago. The story was written in like the 1700s, and everybody else is conservative, and all the women are supposed to just marry up and, you know, squirt out a whole bunch of babies and be a good little woman, and you're not supposed to read because that's weird. You know, you're supposed to just shut up and do what you're told, like that kind of era. But this girl, the main character, her name is Belle, she likes to read. She doesn't have a man yet. You know, she wants to be her own sort of freedom-focused, independent person. I mean, how many of us can relate to that? She's a libertarian through and through. And everybody in the village thinks she's fucking weird. They call her odd. And she feels very ostracized. And she feels like, and her concern is, her worry is, that she will end up alone because she's so weird. And this is what rejection makes us think about. This is why we have such an aversion to it, or why so many of you might have a strong aversion to rejection. It's because you're worried that you will end up alone. You tell stories of, if one person rejects me, maybe everyone hates me. Maybe it's not just this person who said no to me. Maybe all those other people out there will also say no to me, and then I would be completely alone. Maybe everyone hates me and I will die alone. That's the fear. You know, it's this feeling or this concern or this fear of like, what if I lose social status? What if I fall in the eyes of everybody around me? You know, I fall from grace and I'm this weirdo who like hit on a woman one time or tried to make some money or did something strange. I stuck my head, you know, up above the crowd and I was the black sheep of society and they all fucking hate me. I completely and utterly understand that fear. I really do. I did a video series recently where it was called I Broke All the Rules and It Made Me a Success. And I obviously haven't broken every rule, you know, blah, blah, blah. I follow laws and blah, blah, blah. But essentially, I have spent a huge portion of my life testing the boundaries, so to speak. You know, if people say to me, you can't do this, you can't build a relationship like this, I'm like, what happens if I try though? Or if somebody says that task or that thing you're trying to achieve is impossible, my brain automatically goes, I want to prove you wrong. I want to see if you're right or wrong. I've sort of tested the boundaries of What is possible? What can you do? Does every problem have a solution? Can you really achieve all of your goals if you just keep going and take little baby steps every day? Or are there some things that are literally impossible? And so far, what I have come to see is that nothing is impossible. But I completely understand that fear of doing something that's weird, because I've essentially spent my life doing weird shit. I have spent my life being the fucking weirdo, doing stuff that normal people don't do. Normal people do not enter a relationship and have threesomes and then put that shit on the internet. Normal people do not put pictures of their fucking penis on the internet. My penis and, I'm being a little crass here, but my penis and Imogen's fucking vagina is on the internet. Our sex life is on the internet. Normal people don't come on a YouTube video and talk with their fucking partner of 6 years whom they love very deeply about their sex life. Normal people aren't having an open relationship in the first place. They're not having threesomes. They don't then get those people that they're having threesomes with to come on the fucking podcast, whether anonymously or not, and talk about that. That's weird in itself. Normal people don't build a fucking business, a coaching business, teaching other people how to have sex and how to build businesses and all of that kind of stuff. Most people aren't like a life coach or a sex and dating coach or whatever it is that you want to call me. Most people don't do that. Most people don't go and get a vasectomy when they're 27 years old, which I did. Most people didn't walk around during COVID times not wearing a mask, not doing lockdowns, putting freedom and love and happiness and mental health and all of that above being scared and safety and staying at home. Most people didn't do that. I could list hundreds of other examples, and I kind of did in that video. So if you're interested, you can go and watch that. But the point is, I have done a lot of things in my life over the years that could be considered weird. I did an approach anxiety program where I talked to literally like 1,500 people and just did weird fucking social experiments and learned to not give a shit about rejection. I literally did a fucking program on how to get over rejection. And by the way, the short answer, as I just kind of hinted at there, is go out and get rejected a bunch of times. Like go and talk to 1,500 people and either hit on them or, try and make them laugh or just say funny jokes to them. Like do stuff that normal people don't do. Go do that like 1,000 or 2,000 times and you won't care about rejection. Or build a fucking YouTube channel or something and get a bunch of criticism and then you won't care about rejection. Or try and build a business and ask a whole bunch of people if they want to buy your product or your service and then you won't care about rejection. Like get rejected a bunch of times and you won't fear rejection. But that's not normal stuff. And through that process, this wasn't like easy stuff for me to do. I didn't just do all that shit. Like, understand, I didn't just go out and talk to like several thousand people and it was fucking easy. No, it was like the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. Building this business, I didn't just ask, at this point it's probably like 1,000 people, would you like to sign up for coaching? I didn't just fucking do that easily. No, it was utterly terrifying every single time. Well, not every time, but for the first 200 people, it was utterly terrifying. And then it was still a bit scary after that and it progressively got a little easier over time. But I completely and utterly understand that fear of like sticking your head above the crowd or doing something that's weird. And if you're a follower of this channel, you probably already are weird to some extent. If you're watching my fucking weird, beautiful, perverted content about sex and dating and BDSM and business and spirituality, God, if you're even into the concept of spirituality, if you want the world to be a happy and more loving place, you're probably already fucking weird because most people are just so unbelievably busy with just trying to get and take and use and make as much as they can for themselves and hoard and keep it and fuck everybody else. Most people aren't thinking like, how can I add to the world? How can I spread more love and positivity? Most people just don't think like that. They just don't. They're too busy with their own problems and their own stories and their own stress and their own sadness and misery and all of that. I'm not saying the whole world is miserable, but I mean, most people get so caught up in their own problems, they're not thinking on a wide, grand, spiritual sort of scale. And so if you're here in the first place, if you are even just into the concept of self-improvement, if you want to improve yourself day by day, that's weird. That's not what normal people do. Most people have a fixed mindset. As in, they believe that their problems are fixed. They believe they're stuck. They believe that nothing can be done. They believe that they can't improve or grow or try something new. Or if they're unhappy with their job, they don't know. It's almost like they don't know that they could just quit and get another job. They feel stuck. They're like, but I have bills to pay. And you're like, yeah, but just get another job that pays more and then you'd have more money to pay your bills. Oh, well, I can't because, I got mouths to feed. It's like, then just research, improve your resume, research other jobs. You don't have to jump ship until you've got another place lined up and then jump to that business. Then there's no downtime. You didn't lose any money or time or anything, but most people don't know that. They don't understand if they're unhappy with their body, they can just improve it. They can lose weight and go to the gym. Most people don't know if they hate their relationship, they could go to couples counseling. They could work through, books like I Need Your Love, Is That True? Any of David Hawkins' stuff, like any of these sort of beautiful relationship books, they could work through that. There's another one, 8 Rules for Love. Like any of these sort of books, they could work through, improve their relationship and make it better. Most people don't know that self-improvement is a concept. If you understand that you can improve yourself, congratulations, you're weird. I say this to so many of my coaching clients when they're really terrified of rejection, and I ask them what they're so scared of, and they're like, I'm just scared of being weird. I'm scared of looking odd. And I'm like, you're already fucking weird. You've paid me like 10 to 20 grand, depending on which tier of coaching that you take. You've paid me an obscene amount of money to be happy, to improve yourself, to improve your sex life, to improve your money life, to improve your body, to improve your mental health and your spirituality. You're already fucking weird. You've dumped a bunch of money into yourself. Most people don't do that. Most people don't invest in themselves. They're too busy buying iPhones and cars and bullshit that they don't really care about. And by the way, I love phones and cars and all of that, but people will buy that shit to hopefully make themselves happy, not because they actually like those things. If you're pumping money into yourself and your self-improvement, if you're paying for coaching for yourself, that's weird. Most people would already say that's weird. And so you're already weird. What more could you possibly, how could you be any more weird by getting rejected? Go out there, embrace the fact that you're fucking weird. Go talk to that cute girl that you see in the cafe. Go ask your boss for that raise. Go to the gym when you're scared to go there. Go start that fucking side hustle. But take that goddamn action and embrace the fact that some people might think you're weird. Some people might reject you. Some people might not like you. And in their eyes, you might lose social status. But who gives a shit? At least you're doing what you want to do. And at least then you have a beautiful shot at true, deep, unbelievably amazing happiness. But if you sit there and try and live your life avoiding rejection, you never get a chance to soar. You never get a chance to reach those beautiful heights and do something amazing and grasp that beautiful victory from life. If you sit there and avoid rejection, you cannot win. The best you can ever hope for is, well, at least I didn't lose. And that's most people in life. Most people are so obsessed with safety and comfort and fitting in and security and all of that, that they get to the end of their life and they say, and I've covered this before, the number one regret that people have at the end of their life is, I wish I'd lived a life that was more true to my own or more true to myself, rather than the life that others wished for me. That is the number one regret that humans have when they get to the end of their life. And that's what happens if you avoid rejection. Yes, you never get rejected, but your life is just fucking okay. And I don't know about all of you, but I was never aiming for okay. If I wanted an okay life, I wouldn't have had a vasectomy. I wouldn't be sitting here talking about my fucking sex life. I wouldn't have built a business, because it's fucking hard to build a business, by the way. It's not impossible. It doesn't have to be suffering, but it's not necessarily easy. I think most business owners would tell you that. This is not exactly the smartest, fastest way to make money. The fastest way to make money is just go fucking get a degree in the tech industry and just go work there. But I have not taken the easy route. I've certainly not taken the safe route. And guess what? This life is my own. This life is beautiful. And I can sit here and say, hi, I'm Andy. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. I can say that last bit, abundance and joy, because this is my own life, because I don't sit there and freak out about rejection. If somebody rejects me, if somebody doesn't like me, amazing, amazing. I don't like everybody in the world either. I love everybody in the world. I have nothing but love and compassion for my fellow human beings, but I don't necessarily like everybody. I don't necessarily want to spend time with everybody. I wouldn't expect everybody in the world to want to spend time with me. And there's many reframes that you can use for rejection. I'll list out a bunch here. I've done videos on this. I've done separate videos on each one of these, but fuck it. Let's go deep on some of these, These mindsets are the things that can help you when you're sitting there terrified of rejection, or worried that that girl is going to say no to you, or that her friends will laugh at you, or worried that your boss will think you're an idiot for asking for a promotion. Who does this guy or girl think that they are? They don't deserve a promotion. You're worried that those people at the party won't think you're cool enough to talk to them when you go and try and say hello to them. Anytime you're afraid of these rejections, the first one is, don't call it a rejection. It's not a rejection. It doesn't have to be a rejection. It's just that person didn't want what you were offering. You were saying, would you like to go out with me? Would you like to talk to me? And they were just saying, sorry, I got a phone call coming in. They were just saying, no, thank you, I don't want to. They're rejecting your offer. You're offering them something like a glass of water. Would you like a glass of water? No, thank you. Would you like to go out with me? No, thank you. That's it. It's got nothing to do with you most of the time. So that's the first reframe. Another reframe is that that person might be saying no to me, but they're really saying yes to themselves. A no to you is a yes to themselves. If you walk up to someone and say, would you like to be my friend? Would you like to do this? Would you like to have sex with me? Would you like to date me? And they say no, they're actually saying yes to what they want. What they want is to date someone else, or be friends with someone else, or have some space for themselves. That's what they want. They're saying yes to what they want. It's not about you. That's a reframe that can really help. Another one is that every rejection is a learning lesson. If somebody says, I don't want to date you, or I don't want to be your friend, or no, you can't have this promotion, that is beautiful feedback. That stuff, especially if it happens quite a lot, as in if a lot of people are not wanting to be your friend, or a lot of people aren't wanting to go out with you, like if you approach 100 women on the street and 99 of them say no thank you, and maybe one gives you a phone number but then she doesn't reply to you, not a single one of them meets you for a date, that is amazing feedback. Maybe that means you could work on your appearance. Maybe you could lose some weight. Maybe you need to whiten your teeth. Maybe you need to brush your fucking teeth. Maybe you need to have a shower before you go outside. Maybe you could wear better clothes. Maybe you could get a better haircut, or in my case, shave it all off. If you're going bald, just fucking take the plunge and shave it all off. Maybe you could work a little bit on your confidence. And by the way, that's just practice. You don't have to be confident. Just go and talk to a lot of people and you will be. Maybe you could work on making eye contact a little bit better. If you're looking down, staring down at your feet when you're talking to someone, yeah, that's not the most attractive thing in the world. So just practice a little bit looking into people's eyes, or looking a little bit more forward. Like, there's a billion things that you can do, and that might be beautiful feedback. If 100 people say no to you, holy fuck. Or if you're building a business and you ask 100 people if they want your product and 100 of them say no, wow, maybe you can learn something. Maybe you could ask all 100 of those people for some feedback. Maybe your product is too expensive. And so you either need to lower the price, or offer more value, or show people how it would actually change their life, as in do a better job of, like, you might call that marketing, but really I just call that like honesty, like showing what your product actually does. Or maybe you might just need to be a little bit more patient. Like, maybe you won't be getting 10 customers coming through the door every month, but maybe you get one customer every month because your product's really, pricey or something. Cool, be patient with that. There's a million different solutions, but that could be beautiful feedback. And so every rejection can be a learning lesson if you see it as that. That's why I don't even like to use the word rejection. I've used it 100 times in this video because all of you will know what it means, but I don't look at things as a rejection. If somebody says no to my coaching, I'm not like, oh, I got rejected. I'm just like, they don't want the coaching. Either I keep doing my thing and more people will come in, or I improve the coaching, or I offer it to more people. Like, I have all these solutions of what I can do, but that person just didn't want my coaching. Cool. Or this girl didn't want to date me, or date Imogen and I. Cool. Great. She's looking for something different, or maybe we're not what she's looking for. Maybe she's just not at that point in her life. Maybe she fucking thought she wanted to date, but she still hung up on her ex. I can't tell you how many girls have told us that. Literally, I really like you guys. I really want to date you. I'm so sorry, but like, I can't get over my ex. Like, I thought I'd be over him by now, but I don't know. I keep thinking about him and it feels like cheating or something, even though we broke up. I don't know. I need to get my head in a good place. Like, that's not a fucking rejection, is it? That has nothing to do with me. That's all about her and her being hung up on her ex. So a lot of the time, the rejection isn't even a fucking rejection. That's why I don't personally use the word rejection. I'm using it in this video so that you will quickly understand what I'm talking about. But any of you who are in my coaching program, you'll know I literally never use the word rejection. If some guy comes into the coaching program, or some girl, and they say, hey, I tried talking to a girl, or I asked my boss for a promotion, or blah, 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 and they said, no, I got rejected. I'll be like, did you get rejected though? Like, what have we learned from this? How can we use this as a learning lesson? And they'll go, okay, well, this is teaching me. Maybe I need to just go out there and talk to more people. I've only hit on 3 women in the last week. I probably wouldn't care so much about like rejection, you know, quote, rejection, if I'd talked to 20 women this week, because one of them probably would have said yes. And so then I probably wouldn't be caring about the 3 that said no, or the ones that said no. So every rejection, or every so-called rejection, is a learning lesson. Another mindset that really helps, or a reframe, is every no is one step closer to the next yes. Every person that says no to you is one person closer to that one who's going to say, fuck it, sure, yes, let's do it. You know? You can think of basically everything. I did an article, Everything in Life is a Numbers Game. Almost everything that has to do with self-improvement is a numbers game. As in, you have to do it a lot of times before sometimes it will succeed. You know, you just call that like competency. At anything, you're going to improve the more you do it. And so if you're going out with the intention to find a girlfriend or find some women that will have sex with you, you might have to talk to quite a lot of them. Not every woman is single. That should go without saying, but yet it doesn't. And that's why you take it personally, because there's some little part of your brain that's like, what did I do wrong? Maybe she just wasn't fucking single. Maybe she just wasn't interested in meeting a guy who approached her on the fucking street. Maybe that's not how she likes to meet people. Maybe she was having a bad hair day and you caught her at a bad time. Maybe she's not interested. Maybe you're not what she's interested in. Maybe she doesn't want to just have a casual hookup or whatever it is that you might be offering. Maybe she's fucking sad right now and she doesn't want anything to do with men. Maybe she fucking hates men right now because, I don't know, she had a bad experience or her best friend had a bad experience and maybe she's just not interested. And no matter how good a job you did, she was never going to say yes. Like, you don't know. And if you can see it as a numbers game and not take each individual no personally, and instead just say, I'm going to keep fucking playing the numbers game. You know, it's not my business whether or not someone says yes or no to me. That's got nothing to do with me. My only job, my only shit that I need to worry about is how many women did I talk to this week and how much did I improve myself while I was doing it? Or in the case of a business, how many potential clients did I talk to this week, or how much content did I put out? You know, like in my case, you know, it's all about me putting out content and stuff like that. That's how people come in, obviously. These videos bring some of you in for coaching. How much content did I put out? How much was I able to change people's lives and improve their life? Like, how passionate was I with the content? How valuable was the information? How much love did I pour into it? That's something that I think about a lot. How much love am I putting into everything that I'm doing? So you could think about that if you were going out to talk to women. Like, how much am I loving this process? If you're going to the gym to lose weight, how much am I falling in love with the process of going to the gym? How much am I enjoying my workouts? How much am I being grateful for the fact that I can lose weight, that I can go to this gym? How much am I expressing gratitude to the people that are helping me? That's the shit to focus on, and less so on how did each conversation go? Or did this person reject me? Or did they say yes? Because a lot of the time, it's got nothing to do with you. And it's not your fucking business whether or not someone is interested in you. You know, so many of you take this shit personally. You're literally taking personally somebody else's fucking mind. Like, literally what that person has in their mind. Like, they're like, I don't want to date you. Or I'm not interested, or I'm just not looking for sex right now. You're taking that personally. It's not your fucking business what's in someone else's mind. Like, they're so unbelievably insane, and yet we all do it, or I used to do it, but a lot of people do it. You'll take it personally, what's in someone else's mind. It's like, that's not your fucking business. They have the right to think whatever they want to think, or to say yes, or to say no, or to feel however they want to feel. And yet you're trying to take ownership of that and saying, I should be able to control how they feel. As if you could fucking like manipulate them like some puppet master. I should be able to say the perfect thing and then always get the go. And it's like, no, fucker, sometimes she just doesn't want you. It's a radical notion, but holy shit, it's beautiful when you can fully embrace that. Sometimes she's just not that into you. And a lot of women could benefit from that too. There's a fucking movie about this called He's Just Not That Into You, about a woman that literally couldn't get the fucking hint of like, girl, he's just not that into you. I know you think he's the perfect match for you. I know you think he's like the one and all of that bullshit, but I'm sorry, sweetheart, he's just not that into you. Like, go talk to the next guy. Like, there's someone else out there. There's probably a lot of people out there that will love you to pieces. And guess what? If there isn't, and in the meantime, you can love yourself. Give yourself a little bit of that fucking love and that validation and attention and affection that you're asking from other people or wanting from someone else. Give that to yourself. And then guess what? You'll find some fucking man. But this guy just isn't that into you, or this girl just isn't that into you. And it's not your business whether or not they are. Your only job, your only mission is to play the numbers game, to go out there and find the people that want to say yes to you. It is not up to you what each individual person says. Your only job is to zoom out a little bit and play the fucking numbers game. You are responsible for the effort and the intention, but not the outcome, which is dependent on many other factors which are non-personal. David Hawkins said that. He's repeated that in like 5 of his fucking books because it's such a beautiful quote. I will say it again. You are responsible for the effort and the intention, but not the outcome, which is dependent on many other factors and variables which are non-personal. Non-personal as in they have nothing to do with you. If you walk up to a woman to hit on her and she's having a bad day, or she hates men, or her best friend just got broken up and she's in her own head about that, or she's stressed about university, or she's just not feeling social today, or she doesn't want to fucking talk to someone, it doesn't matter what you do. She doesn't want to fucking talk to you. It's not personal. She wouldn't want to talk to anyone in that circumstance. Or he would have to be some fucking like Elon Musk celebrity or some fucking Brad Pitt. And even then she might be like, I'm sorry, Brad Pitt, this is so amazing, but you caught me at a bad time. I'm not interested in talking to you because I'm fucking sad because my dog just died yesterday or something. Or my fucking dad's got cancer. It doesn't matter that you're Brad Pitt. It isn't personal, but I'm not interested, or I'm just not ready to say yes right now. And so it's often got nothing to do with you. Another mindset that can help so much is you can think to yourself when you've been, quote, rejected, maybe I've been spared. What I mean by that is if a woman says no to you, or if you're a woman listening, if a guy says no to you, or your boss says no to a promotion, maybe you've been spared. In the case of relationships and dating and sex, if someone says no to you, they're not interested in you, maybe they weren't a good fit for you. How could someone be a good fit for you if they say no? They're clearly not a good fit. Don't you want to be with people that are excited to be with you? Don't you want to be with people who are like, fuck yes, when you say, would you like to go out on a date with me? Can I get your phone number? Don't you want the people who are like, hell yes, I want that? In other words, don't you want the people that want to be with you? You cannot make someone like you. You can do a bunch of things that might be likable and then go out and find the people that like that. You can obviously put in some effort, and maybe if someone was on the fence, then they decide, oh, fuck it, I do like you. But if someone is hell-bent on not liking you, or if someone is very set that they don't want to date right now, or they're just not interested, you can't force them to like you. Sometimes it might feel like you can, but sometimes no matter what you do, they're just not interested. And you can't make everybody like you. That's not your job. Your job is not to make everyone like you. Your job is to go out there and find the people that do like you, or that want to give you money, or that want to be your friend, or that want whatever it is that you're looking for. Your job is not to make everyone fucking like you. And if you go a little deeper on that, would you even want everyone in the world to like you in the first place? That little childish, beautiful ego part of you says yes. There's a little part of all of us, that little ego that says, yes, I wish everyone in the world liked me and was my best friend and had sex with me and gave me money and wanted to hang out with me. And I wish literally no one would ever hurt me by saying no. Like, there's a little part of all of us that wants that. That little childlike, beautiful part that just wants everyone to be our friend. But if you explore that and take that to its logical conclusion, as in if you play that out and think about what it would be like, or what it might be like to have everyone in the world fucking like you, that would be fucking weird. That would be almost boring. You would feel like there's some sort of fucking, like this is some sort of Black Mirror episode or some sort of weird sci-fi thing that you've entered into where everyone in the world likes you. Does that mean that no one has any preferences? Because you can't possibly be everything to everyone all the time. So does that mean they all just collectively gave up on their preferences and what they actually like? You also can't offer everything to everyone. Like, there's skills that certain people have that you won't have, that I don't have. Does that mean just everybody doesn't care about those skills? or doesn't care if they click with those people. Like, you literally can't please everybody in the entire world. And even though that little childlike part of you wishes that that was not the case, like you wish that everybody would like you, that would actually be really fucking weird. And it might be a little bit lonely. If everybody in the fucking world liked you, again, that would mean that not everybody has preferences, or they all just like gave up on their preferences so that they could like you and make you feel good about yourself or some shit. That would feel like you're surrounded by 8 billion NPCs or some shit who have all just been programmed to like you. You would literally start to go crazy and be like, holy fuck, is there no one on this planet that dislikes me? Like, it would feel weird. You would feel like you were around a bunch of people that didn't have any free will. Because if someone has the free will or has free will, that means they have the choice to not like you or to say no to you or to walk away from you. And if you took that away and 8 billion people on the planet said yes to you all the time, no matter what you ever asked, you would almost start to become sociopathic. You'd be so used to hearing yes all the time and never getting rejected that you would start to, I mean, I even might, and I'm someone that preaches love and compassion and kindness, but I even might go like, okay, how come no one's saying no to me? What if I say something weird, like I'm in public with some woman? What if I'm like, yo, show me your tits right now, even though there's like everyone around us? And she would just be like, okay. And she'd show me her tits. And then like people would be freaking out and going like, what the fuck? Look at that girl. She's like showing her tits. And then I'd be like, wait, you don't have any boundaries? You're never going to say no to me? You literally don't have any boundaries. Okay. Strip naked for me. And she's like, okay, sure. Because I don't want to reject you. I got to say yes to everything. She just strips naked. And then I'm like, masturbate for me. And then she just starts masturbating in the middle of a grocery store. And then she'll probably get arrested for that, right? I'm pretty sure you start masturbating in a grocery store with kids around, you'll probably get arrested. But there would be a small part of me that would be like, there has to be a boundary here. Someone somewhere has to have a boundary. I would walk up to people and be like, yo, give me all the money in your bank account. And then because they can't reject me, they would just be like, here you go, here's all the money in my bank account. Now making money isn't fun. What the fuck is the point of making money if I can just say to anyone, give me all of your money? What the fuck is the point of having sex if literally everyone in the planet will have sex with me? That's not fun anymore. There's now no learning that needs to happen. There's no progress that I would need to make to level myself up to get to a point where I can have sex with more people. So now what's the point? It's like it's lost its meaning. Human beings derive meaning from progress, from feeling like we have accomplished something, from feeling like we sucked at something at the start. That's why one of my favorite mottos is give yourself permission to suck. We feel like we sucked at the start, we practiced or we improved or we read some books or we just leveled ourselves up in some way, and then we got a little better and then more people said yes to us or we got better at that skill. But if you take that whole thing away and you jump straight to the finish line and all of a sudden everyone in the outside world says yes to you all the time, you've removed the whole thing of what it means to be human. There's no progress. You know, it's like if you just woke up on day one and you were enlightened. And by the way, I believe that children and babies are enlightened by default. That's a separate discussion. But like, if you just woke up and we were all enlightened beings who just fucking knew everything and we had all the knowledge in the entire world and there was nothing extra to learn, we learned it all. What the fuck would be the point? There was no progress to be made. We woke up with perfect bodies and all the muscle that we could ever want and infinite sex and infinite money. What would you do? I tell you what you would do, because the way the beautiful mind works, it's programmed to solve problems. And when it doesn't have any problems to solve, it gets bored. And when the mind gets bored, it invents problems. And that's what we would do. If everybody in the world liked you, you would start inventing your own problems. You would come up with something extra to do. And so you will always, 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 the way that your beautiful mind is programmed, you will always like to solve problems. You will always like to make progress. You will always like to overcome adversity. And the most beautiful so-called adversity or challenge or hurdle to overcome is the one of, quote, rejection. Feeling like a lot of people said no to you at the start, improving yourself, learning, gaining some knowledge, gaining some confidence, and then slightly more people say yes to you. And then you can look back and with gratitude say, I remember when everyone said no, and now more people are saying yes. Holy shit, I've made progress. Isn't that beautiful? But if everybody in the world liked you and nobody ever rejected you, you would lose that whole beautiful progress thing. And what the fuck would be the point? There wouldn't be, or at least in my mind, there wouldn't be, and that would be very fucking lonely. I am starting to lose my voice. We're going to end this fucking video, but It's a beautiful thing that not everybody says yes to you. Rejection, if you want to call it that, I don't call it that, but rejection can be the most beautiful gift that any of you have ever gotten if you see it as a learning lesson, if you see it as a chance to go out there and make progress and keep improving. And that's the fucking answer here. It's keep making progress, keep playing the numbers game, go talk to more people, keep doing what you're doing. Holy fuck, I'm losing my voice. If you would like more help with any of this, I have a link in the description below to my coaching program. I'll run the little ad at the end so you can see some of the progress that other people have made in the coaching program. I promise you, rejection is a beautiful thing. If you can see it as that, you, by the way, are not less of a man or less of a person if you get rejected a lot. I would say, not that I really talk like this, but maybe you're more of a man if you get rejected a lot, because the man or the person that gets rejected a lot and keeps going, holy fuck, I have a lot of respect for their courage, their tenacity, their perseverance, their integrity, and their stoicism. That's a beautiful thing. Rejection can be an amazing fucking gift. Go out there, crush those goals, and get rejected as much as you possibly can, and you'll see that with every rejection, you get a whole bunch of rejections, you'll also get some yeses. The only way that I have built everything that I have built is by getting rejected. Again, I don't call it that, but getting rejected a metric fuck ton. I have been rejected. I have failed more times than you have even tried. Come fucking join me. Come get rejected as much as I have. Come fail as much as I fucking have. If you want my help with that, coaching program is below. Go out there and do some fucking wild shit. Get rejected a lot. Have a great, amazing time. Spread love. Spread positivity. Go make the world a better place. Give people love and fucking hugs and kisses and have beautiful sex and money. And how long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself? These guys didn't wait. They joined my coaching program and gave themselves the life that they've been dreaming of. Taylor had a threesome, tons of sex, learned to be honest with his intimate partners, and fully embraced a more peaceful, happy, and loving mindset. Laz more than doubled his income from $25K to $45K a month, as well as having more sex than he could handle, all while fully embracing honesty and authenticity. Corky learned to love himself instead of always beating himself up. Oh, and he had a threesome, sex with 7 women, and started his own business. Want to do what they've done? Join our coaching program, and I and the other coaches will pour our heart and soul into giving you the life that you've dreamed of. No more waiting. Now is the right time. Link in the description below.